Howdy folks, welcome back to SnowRunner on the Imandra map. This is not, I know I promised to get the, pick up the armored cars next. This is not that. This is just a little snippet of bringing equipment back down to the trailer store. This is the Kodiak that I had over here in the corner of the map, using the radar to open up that corner. And then I brought it back down to where this scout fuel trailer is. And now I have the truck, the fuel trailer, and the exploration unit. And I more or less just kind of wanted to display what this Kodiak is capable of with the new studded tires you can get. The quasi-studded tires. The other Kodiak is already in the garage. The other prototype is already at the trailer store, and there's another story behind that I'll get into later. But so that's my route, and assuming these are still linked together, yep, we're good to go. So hopefully this will just be a little shorty. And there's another little shorty I want to do about demonstrating a new vehicle, a new mod that I just downloaded. I know I bypassed most of this, but let's see if we can get through this end part. It crawled through it, pulling 2 trailers. I don't know that I would climb over rocks doing this, but it's crawling through the mud and snow. I saw something in the trail in front of me. I want to make sure that I'm not trying to go between the rocks instead of trying to climb them. Still trucking along, pulling 2 trailers through deep snow. And these are the small mud tires. The story with the other Kodiak is when I hopped into that Kodiak to retrieve it, drive it down to the trailer store to sell the trailer, and it had 39-inch stock highway tires on it, and I couldn't do shit with it. I ended up recovering the Kodiak to the garage. Apparently see, the Kodiak's just updated. They did a wheel modification to add the quasi mud and ice tires. I'm gonna leave that prototype unit right there and take this back out. Park it somewhere. Shit, I don't know. Park this little fuel trailer somewhere. Maybe over here on the side of the trail. So I ended up just recovering the. I tried winching it through the trees, going from tree to tree, winching it back, and it just wasn't working. So I recovered the. I'll leave that little scout trailer right there. It's out of the way. I recovered the Kodiak to the garage, detached the trailer, and recovered the Kodiak to the garage. And then went up there where the trailer is with the crane right there. And pulled the trailer back on the tow line, the prototype trailer. So now the Kodiak's in the garage. I looked at some of the modifications, but I haven't done that yet. I wanted to do that in a separate snippet. Or maybe since I've already done the explanation, I'll attach it to this one. Sell, baby, sell. I want to get the other one with the least amount of dicking around. Come at it at the right angle or it won't let me grab the tongue. Oops, I meant to go forward there, not shoot backwards. Alright, now I need a little bit of backwards. Come on. Stop. Might have went too far. Nope, we're good. And get down to that one and sell it. Outstanding. Sold, bolted, and puppies. And now just park this out of the way. That looks out of the way. I may end up returning that to the garage and putting the fatter tires on it, but it seems to work pretty good with these tires. Stop engine. Get out of that. I was going to do this in a separate little bit, but the other prototype unit was up here. Prototype exploration unit with its Kodiak hull in it. And as I said, it had stock tires on it. I couldn't get anywhere. I had it up here before I was hitting boulders that I couldn't go over and shit. Put it upside down. At that point I detached the trailer, recovered the truck to the garage, and went and rescued the trailer with the crane that I showed you a minute ago. So let's hop into the garage. Now this is how I found the Kodiak. With these little dinky tires on it. And also I wanted to address a comment made by a subscriber to the channel, Jason. He commented that he wished he could change the exhaust on the Kodiak. Now I'm not sure if he was talking about the modded Kodiak that I'm running or the vanilla Kodiak. But this is a mod. Chevy Kodiak K70 ST M181. M181 modded Kodiak. So it has a lot more options than the vanilla Kodiak does. Gives you a different engine with S plus power. You can put a crawler gearbox on it instead of the basic balanced high range or off-road. You've got various options for the race suspension. You've got an active suspension besides stock. Now if you do the active suspension, if you put the active suspension on it, it's going to limit your tire size. See how all these 51s are locked out? It limits you to 47 if you do the active suspension. So you've got a stock heavy duty, a raised, and a raised heavy duty. Now, on the public test server, I was using this truck for a crane. I had the big red crane on it, and for that I used a raised heavy duty. For this, I'm just using the straight up raised because it's not as stiff as the heavy duty, and it gives you a little more flexibility over the boulders and the bumps. It's not quite so rigid. And with the raised straight up raised suspension, as well as the raised heavy duty, it gives you access to all these. As far as the chain tires, you've got just the normal selection of either duals or singles. And that's a nice tire. That's a nice chain tire. But up here, you've got 51-inch studded singles. Single mud tire. This is basically the same thing, I believe, a 51-inch studded mud. No, this is a mud dually. You can put dual tires on the ass end of this thing. You see, there's two of them side by side there. 51-inch studded mud dualies. 51-inch studded monster mud tires. 51-inch single mud tires. There's more 51-inch mud dualies that are not studded. And then those are the monster mud tires that are not studded. I thought I'd try these. 51-inch studded monster mud tires by Quasi. Either these or the dualies. The dualies look cool, man. And it would definitely give it more stability. But with the, oh God, I don't know. With the dualies, I'm thinking it would be harder to get through tight spaces. And these really are dang near as wide as the dualies. So I think we'll put those on there. And with this mod, you have choice of an autonomous winch that does everything that the twin motor or the advanced winch will do. Let's see, advanced wind motor winch setup. A further upgrade of the truck. This winch is also equipped with extended rope, making it the final step in the heavy truck winch evolutionary path. But it's not offline. So I go with this. Autonomous Winch HD. The HD gives it the properties of the heavy-duty winch, but being able to use it offline. I wanted to make sure that I was giving you right information. You can run through different spare wheels and recovery kits and whatnot. I believe on the other truck I was using this spare wheel. I might not have just put it on this one. And the utility mount. Maybe you can't have both. Yeah, see, it uninstalled this one when I installed the other one. That's why it doesn't have the regular spare wheel on it. And then you've got, that's just another choice of a spare wheel, and that's a weighted spare kit. It adds weight to the vehicle toward the front, just in case you decide to have the big crane on it or you pull a heavy trailer with it. It gives you more front wheel traction to compensate for the weight on the ass trying to lift the front wheels off the ground. Also does that with a weighted spare bumper, or a weighted front bumper. I'll show you. Choices of snorkels: tall front facing, tall flat cap. Stock, it's hard to see because it's on the other side of the truck. And this is just a different tall front facing. This one's way up here. This one's over here on this side. See, it's right here. Now, on this Kodiak, I had this one. I have this one. On the other Kodiak, I believe I put that one on it. We'll put that one on it for now. You can have the visuals of the four-wheel drive, but whether you do the visuals or not, you're still going to have all-wheel drive. So it just puts the visuals there of a differential in the front axle. Frame add-ons are quite extensive. You see the LC38 crane, the crane bed. You can use the crane, let's briefly install that. You can use the crane bed with the LC38 loading crane. Now, the reason they call it a crane bed is because it pushes the bed back far enough from the cab in order to put the little crane in front, the loading crane. You know, or you got saddle low, saddle high, and you can still have the crane with those. You can have a towing boom, which puts a crane on the back. Let's uninstall the little crane. And uninstall the crane bed. Go back to the towing boom. That'll put a crane back here that in theory you can tow with. Service cab, pickup chassis add-on, which is what I chose to use. So I could use these as scout vehicles and also to pull the prototype exploration unit. Small fuel carrier. Obviously, you could still put a dolly trailer on it with the pintle hook. I think if you equip the small fuel carrier, you can still do a saddle high. Yes, you can. But not a saddle low, because that positions the fifth wheel further ahead. So you can do a saddle high and the fuel carrier in combination. And now if you were going to do that, let's go back a minute. If you were going to do that particular setup, you'd want to do the raised HD. See how it pops it up? Watch the difference. Kind of lets it sag in the ass. Just pops it up. Gives it a taller suspension, a stiffer suspension, and then you could also do, get over here to, front fender. Lots of choices of front fenders, or front bumpers rather. This is the, I'll run through them quick. This is the weighted bumper I said it had. So you could compensate for putting weight on the ass end. It would keep the front wheels planted solid to the ground. Slanted, double pipe, heavy duty pipe. There's several different versions of the stock. Heavy duty, a different stock, reinforced, those are the same, hinged. There are some duplicates, triplicates even in here. Lattice, all three of these lattice are the same. Heavy duty pipe, different heavy duty pipe, and then a different stock bumper. Again, I say there's like 3 or 4 versions of the stock bumper. I choose to go with just this stock bumper. I think it fits the truck and it does not block the front fog light, the front fog lights, high beam lights, LED lights, whatever. Let's go back to this one. In the spare wheel section, if you were going to do this setup, you could also do the weighted spare kit. That, in combination with the weighted bumper, compensates for weight that you have hanging on the ass. Alright, I think we've gone through that plenty. I'm going to put it back to what I use. Get rid of that. I'm going to have to go to the add-ons and get this changed around. Uninstall, uninstall. There is the Ford pickup bed. There's the heavy crane. That you would definitely want the weighted stuff on the front to compensate for the sag in the ass. We did that, we did that. This is a big, this pulls the whole F750 deal off of that truck and puts it over here. It's got the roof rack, the framework, the fork bed, that can all be equipped to the F750. A couple different flatbeds. Full-length flatbed van body, maintenance frame, maintainer, metal detector, small sideboard, sideboard bed, fuel tank, small fuel carrier, pickup chassis add-on. Showed you the towing boom, showed you the service cab. So we're back to the pickup chassis add-on that I'd like to use. That the way I had it set up to pull the prototype exploration units and make it sort of a scout vehicle. Now this has 150 repair parts, 3 spare wheels, and 100 extra liters of fuel. And if I wanted to, I could still stick a high saddle there. That would not interfere with anything. But I can't imagine any scenario where I would pull a high saddle, a big heavy ass high saddle truck or trailer with the Kodiak. It's a possibility, I suppose. Yeah, let's stick it on just for shits and giggles. Now, as far as the spare wheel, what I was trying to do with the utility mount, it's back on there now. Now that the other shit is gone, for lack of a better way to put it. Let's go back over here. I believe, let's see, front side you got an angled sun visor. You can choose to have it or not. Rooftop, you got bar mounted fog lights, LED fog lights which are down here, a small roof rack, raised beacon, twin horns, beacon and fog lights, roof fog lights, small roof rack, which puts this framework going up and down the sides. I don't really care for that framework. My personal choice, cage beacon, 2 square beacons, flasher bar. My choice is the small roof rack and the LED lights. Somewhere in here there is a rear cab. You can choose to have the stock mud flaps or not. I choose not to have those great big things sticking out past the tires because they catch on rocks and whatnot, and they're just an obstacle. With the big fat tires, you probably wouldn't catch them on so much stuff because the tire is going to hit it instead of the mud flap, but I still choose not to have them. We already went over the front bumper. I like just the stock one. To address Jason's question, on the modded Kodiak, you have the choice of muzzle, heat shielded, outrolled, or stock. And I really kind of like the stock, but I chose to put the muzzle on it. It's kind of a hard choice between the stock and the muzzle. You know, I think it almost looks better with the stock. I'm going to change that. Rims, there's only one choice. Because of the quasi tire, you get the quasi rim. And God, where is it? Is it in this section? No, I'm not seeing it. Is it in frame add-ons? I thought there was, maybe they took it out. I thought there was a cab protector. This gives you a spare wheel in the back here. That's all tires. That's the suspension. That's... When I was messing around with frame add-ons and stuff, there was a cab protector back there now that I can't seem to find now. Yeah, it's not in there anymore. Ah, here it is in miscellaneous. You've got cabin protector, side pipe thresholds, weighted cab guard. You see how it kind of sunk down a little bit there. If I fitted that and then escaped back to something else, you'd see it there. Small cab guard. There it gives you a better view of it. Weighted low profile cab guard. It gives you the weight, but it's smaller, like the normal small cab guard. I just go with the straight up cabin protector. I don't do the side pipe thresholds because I think that's just more of an obstruction. Something more likely to hit the ground or get you high centered on a rock or something. So now that's basically the finished product. And we'll drop it out of the garage. Looks kind of funny with the high saddle on it. Yeah, I think the high saddle makes it look kind of funny. But let's get it away from the building. Oh, my controller shut off. Now I can put the camera down. There's my Azov John and my modded cat. Just run this around for a second. got a soft suspension. Let's see what it does on here. Woo! That's some deep ass mud. I don't want to get way up in that boulder field, but I can turn left and see what it does over this boulder here. It's kind of, look at that. Even though it was a weird angle, and it's tipping the truck. Whoops, pushed the button too hard. That drug the front end over even. Pretty cool. Deep snow, it just chews it right up. Slows it down a little, of course, over being on a road, but outstanding. Now, is it as good as the small skinny tires? I don't know. The other Kodiak has the single wide studded tires on it. For some reason, when it did the wheel update, it left those studded singles on that Kodiak, but on this Kodiak, it forced it to have the 39-inch highway tires. It took the wheels off of it for some reason. So, did a little featurette here about the Kodiaks. Answered Jason's question about the exhaust, and I do believe that's good for now. I'm going to come back with another little featurette about a new mod. Hopefully that one won't run almost 40 minutes. But thanks for watching.